everybody. We'll give it a few minutes for everyone to find me. I'm sorry I wasn't here right at 8. But I'm here now. Anybody else? I have to find you. It takes me a minute. How are we doing tonight? So far, we're good. We do have storms in our area, but I don't have anything right now. So we're gonna stay positive that everything will be good. I just have to find my group here. Where are you? Pages? Here you are. And I am live. Hey, you guys. I see there are a few of you here already. I would have been here, but I was so distracted by this. I've been playing with this for days, and I'm so excited by it. It is the coolest thing. I came in and started to set the room up early, and yet I'm still playing. So, hi Diane, hey Susan, don't you? They're the coolest ones. Well, you don't need to see yourselves there. Let me move that over out of the way. That's so I can see what you're saying. Okay. So those of you that ordered the kit, it's coming. I got all of the parts today. There's a big box over on the other side. I have everything all cut for you, so I should be able to just package them up and ship them off tomorrow. And some of you might be wondering, hey Linda, why would I do the kit? I could just go ahead and order what I need. What happens with the kit is you get all of the things pre-cut, and you actually might get some extras. So for example, the people that are getting the kit are going to get this chair cut out. They're going to get these papers pre-cut to fit your card. They're going to get one or two of a few extra things. If you are a kit person and you don't want to know what's coming, block your ears. You're also going to get one of these. This is the Hearts and Stars elements, and I want you to try those. We're going to use those on one of the cards. You're also going to get one of these super cute wreaths. You get all the ribbons pre-cut that you need. I'm actually using twine. I'm not using ribbon. So if you're thinking, well, gee, I don't know if I want to do a kit, the next time I throw a kit out there, you might want to think about it, because it gets some extra stuff that you wouldn't necessarily get if you bought it yourself. So however I design the card, you get absolutely every single thing that you need to do it, either in the kit as a product from Stampin' Up, or something I put together for you. Normally it's not this delayed. I'm really frustrated that this took this long, and I just picked the most popular bundle to do my first kit with. The watercolor people stuff is all here too. Again, those were super popular stamps. I know I have good taste and everyone else chooses the same thing. So those will all get shipped out tomorrow as well, and then we'll schedule that class when I know that you're going to get it. You can definitely come to the watercolor class, but you won't have all the supplies that they have. So anywho, I haven't put together a kit yet, other than the one I did last night. I put one out last night, but you're just going to go buy your stuff. So that one's a little different. And we can talk about that later. I don't want to delay too much with this, because this video gets super long if I talk too much at the beginning. So there's a sketch that goes with these cards, and I will be putting that up. And I want to talk about this first card. I rarely, almost never, do I do a card horizontal. And I just decided that I needed to do it. So in this particular one, the door is closed. The door can open. we're going to talk about how you get your images to look like that. But so here the door is just cut out, right? It's stamped using this stamp, and then it's cut out with this die. Super easy. This one, the door is cut out, but it also opens, and it's got a sentiment inside. So it says, I feel at home when I'm with you. Super cute, right? Ignore the washi tape. It's a boo-boo. It's not supposed to be there. You won't have washi tape on yours. And I'll show you what the boo-boo is and how to avoid it. This is supposed to be holly, but by coloring it a little messy with my watercolor, with my blender pen, I was able to make it look not so Christmassy. I didn't add the red berries. I didn't color in the holly leaves exactly even. You could add tiny little flowers to it, and then you would, and I kind of went with the all green. Again, this lantern, I haven't colored that yet, so I'm going to show you how we do that. But I like that the door opens. And then this is the new, these wreaths come, I suggested, these are on my suggested list for Christmas in July. These guys are boxwood wreath embellishments. There's 12 of them. They're so cute. I am a maniac for anything miniature. I just think like dollhouses are super cute. Anything that's little, I'm in love with it. So I literally have played with this all day long. Okay, so that's card number 2. Card number 3, I haven't done yet. So we're going to work on that together. Card number 3 starts with our same standard A2 card. And the base, which is 5 1/4 by 4, is run through the brick embossing folder. So now, I have a mark in my embossing folder, but it's on the outside. So now, this looks like a brick wall. And so it's a brick house, and my door, and I'm going with beachy colors on this one, and I'll show you why. My door now opens, but the windows are also popped out. Yeah, there's that. These are the dies that you get. So you get the door. Let's move this. You get the door. You get the inside that lets it open. And then you also get the windows. And they line up with the stamp. I'll actually make one of these doors for you so that you can see it. But this goes like this. This one has a cut on one side and a hinge on the other, aka why I needed the washi tape, because I did it backwards. Won't happen again. I know which is which now. So this goes on the door, and then these windows cut through the windows, the window die. And then you get this. Super cute. All right, in the sketch, which I didn't post yet because I'm still adding dimensions to it and making sure it's going to fit all the cards. There is a piece that's 2 by 3 3/4, and this fits right inside the door so that you can stamp on this. Now, since I'm thinking this is kind of a beachy color house and it's warm and cute, I could grab a stamp from one of, where's my Seaside Shore, and I could put a fish inside. I could do some sort of a seascape in there. Or, where do you see what else you can do? So instead of, so this is attached, so instead of this white, I am going to take a photo that I cropped exactly the same size, and I'm going to put that, so when you open the door, you see Sarah and Grace. It could be whoever's going to live in the house. Now this looks like there's water in the inside, so I might fussy cut around them and have them just on the white. So they're greeting you in their bathing suits. Or, you know what, who cares? If they're in the ocean and the ocean's behind the door, that's okay too. Right? So that can go just inside your door. Think about if you're doing a welcome to your new home and you have the person inside. Super easy to do. You just have to find a photo that kind of fits that dimension. But once you cut this, use this kind of as we used to use our simple template. Pop this over. It's not clear, so you can't really see, but you can pop it over and just trim it exactly the same size. Okay? All right. One thing that I found with these, to get this to stick well, this tear tape works great. The problem is it's a little too thick for the door jamb. Now this door I did out of Pool Party. So if I grab my tear tape, you'll see this side it works great. The other side you need to trim it down a little. But it gives it a really good solid sticky. Today was an exciting day in the in my room. My new ink rack came. I'll show it to you before we leave. Hey Deb, welcome. Hey Jennifer. If I missed anybody else that came in, I'm sorry. I do look up sometimes, but I don't always see you coming in because I'm busy. I'm cutting here. I'm going to cut this in half because I want it to be thinner without cutting my finger, which is always a challenge. And you're thinking, why are you bothering? You're going to be happy that you did. You could put it down and then fold it over, but I like having it a little bit skinnier, and then I can use it on the top and the bottom of the door as well. Pretend that you don't hear Morty barking his brains out right now. He barks when the neighbors bring their dogs in. He gets really excited. I don't know why. It's on the other side of the stockade fence, but somehow he can smell them or something. And the only way I can get him in is to use a squeaky toy, and he comes flying for a squeaky toy. No one told him that it's the same treat every time. It's just the same toy. Okay, so there's all my tape is on. Peel this off. Now I'm going to put this to whatever my backing is going to be. Now in this case I'm going to use the photo, but I could use just this and stamp my sentiment on it too. There is a surprise that's really cute. You could do the surprise with a little photo of you behind it, especially if you're coming to visit someone. I can just think of 1,000 things I would use this door for. Okay, the only problem with tear tape is it is not forgiving, so you have to do it right the first time. And if you don't, you can trim it a little. I never do it like this except when I'm on camera and then I mess it up. But we can fix it, right? Nothing is ever awful. And then we grab this and we're going to put it down. But before we put it down, the door sort of looks like it's floating on the wall. I'm going to put the floor in front of the door using the new wood texture paper. And I'm going to put that right there. That gives me a floor. So pop that in. Now, when I put my door on, it's not going to look floating anymore. It's going to look like it belongs there. Hi ladies, I see you coming in. And I'm going to offset it a little bit because I want to add the flowers to the side. So I need to kind of figure out, well, how big is the flower? I have a die, I can bring that in, and the flower can go like that, sitting by the door, right? So I want this to just touch the wood. Pop that down. And now my door opens really well. And I can decide what I'm going to put in it. If I was going to put the picture, or I was going to stamp, I would do it before I attach that to the door. Okay, so now I have a floor and a door. Now I'm going to grab the little wooden heart that came in these, the hearts and stars. They're so cute. There's little flowers too. They're wood. Super cute. And that's going to go right here with a glue dot. I also have really cute signs that can go on there, that can go on the door. This stamp fits right across here. I have a hello, for you, grateful. So how do we do those? First, we're going to take grateful, and we're going to put it on our stamp. And then this one I'm going to put on the other side, and I'm going to stamp that down. Again, you might want to do this before you attach it, but I'm going to use a different door so I don't mess that one up. And I'm going to use my crumb cake. And you're probably going to see my head poke underneath because I need to be on top of this to actually see what I'm doing. Is my hair in the way? No. Okay, good. And I'm not really a fan of that sign. I would like that sign to go like this instead of directly on the door. Right? And then my grateful, which could be in a different color even, is going to go right in the middle. And then we've got a die that cuts that out. Right? This whole set is so cute. Here's the little die. Let's move things out of the way so we can cut this. Rosemary, let me check for you, okay? I have one. I can check it and see. I'll pull it out in a sec. I think so. They say they do. Some of them do better than others. My magnetic plate wants to go that way. Okay, Gert, come on. Alright, so now we have grateful. And that can mount right on the door, like so. Let me just grab the Cuddle Bug, Rosemary, and see if that fits. I don't have all my plates and everything, but... well, I do, but not right here. just. It fits, but just. Okay? Yep, it slides through. That one's really cute. I like it. I'm coming back. Here is the... I don't know why I have a chair in this room. I never ever sit in it. It's a smidge wider than the plate that's going to go, the white one. Let me get that closer so you can see it. But it did slide through. So I think it would be tight, but you could probably get it through. Okay. So now we have, let's go back with our card. Now we have this. We have our floor. We have our brick. You can definitely use your dauber, which we haven't used yet too much, and kind of make this look a little bit worn, which is neat. Worn brick. We'll talk about ways we can do that during Christmas in July too. Okay, so that's how that works. Now I wanted to talk about the flower. So here's my fleur. I'm going to take a scrap of Whisper White, and I'm going to, you have flowers in a basket and you have a flower wreath, and then you also have Christmas, and you have harvest time, which could go for October or Thanksgiving. It's got pumpkins, but you could still get away with it. And I'm going to use the Sahara sand because I don't want this to be really a dark, because I'm going to do some work with it. I want you to notice this stamp has a little mark over to the side. I am too far forward. Let me get this back so this stays where it should. See this tiny little mark? That lines up with the die that coordinates with it. And see how the die has that little notch, so that you know when you use this, it will fit. What I do is after I stamp it, I'll do the wreath too. After I stamp it, notice it doesn't stamp that little notch, of course, but I remember where I did it, and then I just mark it with a pen so I know where it is. I'm sure other people have other methods, but that works for me. And then when I line the die up, I make sure that I put this in that general area, but I can line the die up and make sure it's going to fit. Okay? I recommend that you color these, which is what we're going to do next, before you cut them. It's just easier than trying to work with something super teeny. So let's do our basket of flowers. All right. Now, this was the Sahara sand. Come on, get in there. We're going to do Old Olive and Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral is the color of our brick wall, so it's going to go. Now, I could use the markers if I had them, but I can also use my blender pen. And if I get my blender pen, and this allows you to do some shading. So you're going to pick up just a tiny bit of ink on one side. And you're going to come in and start coloring your flowers. and kind of move around the bouquet because they're going to get lighter as you color. Right? See how the ones I've done later are not as dark? And the blender pen is nice, fine point. It's easy to work with. And you just go ahead and color in all the petals. Then you take the old olive and you're going to do the flowers, or the leaves, I'm sorry. And I didn't clean my blender pen because I've been doing a bunch of these, so I left them. But once you're done, if you just use this on white paper, it will come clean. Right? Super teeny. But now if you want a little darker, you just dab a little bit. And you can come in and add more highlights to it. It's really, really easy. And you can do it with any color that you have ink for. So the blender pens are super versatile. They really are. Then you just wipe it off. And now it's clean. So then I'm going to grab some of my sand and go over my basket. Nowhere near as expensive as Copics, but you get the same kind of look. Not quite, but on something little like this, it's perfect. And then what I do when I'm doing this is I go over my highlights first. So this has the little marks that make it look like it's a basket. And I go over those. And then you're going to want to think about your light source. Where is the sun shining? If the sun's coming directly at your basket, then it doesn't matter what color it is. If your sun is coming from this side, for example, this side is going to be lighter than this side. So remember I said when you start out it's darker. So let's say the sun is coming from here. I'm going to start over here coloring my basket in, and as I work my way over, it's going to get lighter automatically. See how it looks like I just shaded it? I'll bring it up closer so that you can see. It looks like I did all kinds of shading, and I really, really didn't. I just let the ink work its way out. By the time I'm trying to get to a point where you can see this, and I'm showing you nothing. Come on. There it is. Really? Where's the camera? I can't see what I'm showing you. I'm sorry. This is stupid. The camera's up too high for me. I'm really trying. Whoa, there we go. Sorry. I forget that the iPad camera's on an end. I made you really, really dizzy. Anywho, we do have some shading. And that was done really quick, really easy. All right? So, love my blender pens. I use them for anything like this. Any little stamps that you want to highlight and get your colors in. Now, if I finish coloring my flowers, it would look a little bit more complete, but we'll get to that. Now, let's bring in the Big Shot. Move over, move. There. And we're going to set our flower down. And I just lost it. because I covered it. I moved everything and now I don't know what to do with it. Hold on, everybody. I'll find it. It's in this pile, I promise. Right here. And then put your die on, and you can line it up so it's going to go right around your basket. Sometimes the magnet like jumps and makes me crazy when I get it just where I want it. There we are. And now we have our flower ready to set right here next to the door. I have room for a sentiment up here if I wanted. I could do the sentiment on the door. Do with that little piece. I've got the heart I was going to put on the door. I also have a welcome mat. Grateful would look super cute there with a heart under it. And then the welcome mat is the same thing. There's a stamp for welcome. And you're going to stamp and then cut it out. This set has so much of everything. It really does. Here's welcome. I'm going to move you over a little. And again, you could do the same kind of thing. You could color it. There's welcome. I'm just going to pop this over here. And because I want to save time to do the door. Same thing, line up my die and run it on through. And then I can add welcome to the door, right? Okay. So let's figure out the door, because that's the tricky part. It's not hard, it's just details. So you're going to stamp first. I don't know if you're wide enough. I don't think you are. No. And you can, clearly you can stamp on anything. I'm going to use the Whisper White because I think that shows it good for you. And I'm stamping with crumb cake. Sounds like I'm knocking on the door. You want to make sure that you have a good solid, and you also want to make sure that your stamp, these are big, this is a big stamp. You want to make sure it's really pressed tight to your block before you get started. And then you pop it down. Good solid pressure, no rocking, and there's your door. Now, what can I do with the door? Well, I can do the same idea with my blender pen. I made this door green by using the old olive. It looks like kind of a worn door, but I like that idea since I was going with all the green. This one I did I used a little bit darker. I used crumb cake to stamp. And then I used, this one I used Sahara Sand, which is a little bit lighter, and then I painted with the crumb cake. You can go in and add detail now. What about taking a little bit of Wink of Stella and a darker color here, darken the handle and make it look like the handle is out of dark brown metal. I mean, you can add as much detail as you want to this and get as carried away as you want. Okay, so let's say, I don't want to take time to paint it while you're watching me, but let's assume we've painted the door. So now we're ready to cut it out. So let's play with that for a minute. It's not hard, it really isn't. It's just figuring out what's going to happen before you do it. I have something to show you that I learned, and I bet, I don't know if you know or not. Did you know that there are labels for this end of your stamp set? Did you know that? You know how when we get stamp sets, they look like this, and there's nothing on the ends? So if you are putting them in a rack and you want them stacked like this, it's hard to know what they are. Did you know that there were places on how to do that? I was so excited when I found them. Let me show you that quick. So here is Sweet Sugar Plum. Nothing on the end. Flip it on the bottom. There's 4 strips with the name. One's in English, one's in German, one's in Chinese. But I'm going to stick with English. And you lift up the corner a little to loosen it. And then you're going to bend it so that you can, it's like picking up a decal. You're going to pick up the first one. See how it peels right off? Super sticky. Then flip it over. And it goes right here along the top. Now, am I the only person that didn't know those were there? I was thinking, I'm going to have to write these. How do I get them on there? And I've been seeing them in people's pictures and thought, why'd that happen? Apparently this happened back in 2013 when they changed the stamp pads. So everybody knows except me, because I wasn't using them then. So that's how you do it. Super easy. This one's a little crooked, but I'll live with it. Okay? So now you can go fix all your stamp pads so that you can find them if you've got them in a rack and you can't tell what they are. All right. Things you didn't know. All right. So, make sure you can see this now. Move everything else out of the way. Right? I really didn't, and I have to tell you that when I first did it, I thought that I should peel off the whole piece. Like on the crumb cake one, I peeled off the whole thing, and then I thought, what, I guess I have to cut them out. No, you don't have to cut them out. And you can, in case you happen to do it from both ways, you could take one of the other ones, even though it might be in another language, you'd see the color, and it's close. So now we know, right? Okay, so there's my door. And I have to decide, now if I just want to cut the door itself, I'm going to use the bigger one. Notice it's a little bigger at the top than the bottom. So position that. The magnet really helps in this case because it holds it right there. Now if I want to have the door open, I'm going to need this one. If you feel the back, you can tell which side is the hinge. You can also tell when you put it down and you line this up. I find sometimes it works better so that I don't overlap on the bottom to do these at the same time. I've done it both ways. Kind of depends on you. Line that up. And then if I want the windows open, I'm going to put the itty bitty little window right in the middle. It's under here. And you line that up with your windows. Again, the magnet helps you. If you don't have the magnet one, you can use washi tape and hold it in place. When all is well, you crank on through. It sounds like it's breaking. It's not. It sounds horrible. And there's your door. You just have to pop out your windows. It's scored over here. You kind of have to hold it a little bit when you do it the first time, but it is scored right there. And your door opens up. Hey, Mary Ellen. Okay, and you even have a threshold. I mean, it's super cute. Okay. The same thing works for all of the stamps and the dies. If they coordinate, if there's one that goes with it, I suggest you stamp and color first and then cut. That way it's much easier to work with it than trying to hold onto something little and color it and not get your fingers in it and not put smudges on it and all of that. All right. So all of you that did the kit, it will ship out tomorrow. And I will be available if you have questions once you get things. I want to see if I can show you without making a big mess. I got my my Stampin' Storage stamp set or stamp rack today. It's really cool. I really, really like it. I'm really glad I spent the money because I had them in a drawer and I was constantly digging through the drawer and trying to find them. So yes, Stampin' Up! Has one, and I should really, you know, support myself, my business, by only using that. But I didn't have room for the spinny thing. All right, I hope I don't make you too dizzy. I'm going to try and do this. There it is. Can you see it? I got the big one. It holds 72, I think. But I just found out today that there is a sale next month if you're thinking about the ink storage ones. So if you're thinking about those, hold off. Don't do it now. And I'll give you the links and coupons. It's the middle of July. But I do like that a lot. And then I have a bookshelf on top that I put my stamps on. All right, so everybody you will see the sketches. I will get those loaded so that you can see them. This is from the Colorful Seasons, and I will tell you, I have turned to that stamp set a lot. I thought this bundle, I wasn't sure that I really needed it. I got it and was like, yeah, man, it's cool when I first got it. I've turned to this one often. I mean, I've used that chair, clearly, but it also has, it has this really great branch. I used this on one of the tags earlier. I love this little scallop for an edge of a card. It's got leaves and snowflakes and little flowers, has lemonade. And then the stamps are really cute too. I haven't tried this one, the sling beach chair. I think that's really cute. So I will say, if you're thinking about, oh, I don't know if I really need that one, I have used it a lot, more than I thought I would. Okay, anybody have any questions on how this works or why it works or what do we need to do? All good? All right. So here is card number 1. green and purple. It's actually the fresh fig. This is beachy. And this one's kind of beachy too. I guess I'm thinking of the beach lately with the chair and the flowers and the colors. Okie doke. I will see you guys really soon. Have a great night. Any questions, let me know. Be thinking about Christmas in July. It's coming faster than we think. And we will be here. You're welcome. Good night.